to a new episode. I got a question from a subscriber. What mold do I use to put a weed guard into my Ned Rig? Well, the answer to that is I actually make my own molds. So I'm going to show you me using my Ned Rig mold here, and I'll go ahead and show you how I add my own weed guards in, and you can actually do this with store-bought ones as well. I'll go ahead and show you that in this video. So today's video is all about different ways of rigging up your Ned Rig that are kind of outside the box. Alright, so I have an example of some of the Ned Rigs that I have. Ones on the bottom are all homemade. Ones on the top are, these four are all bought. This one's been modified. So I'm going to show you how to add a weed guard onto it. I've got a few examples. So now this is the one I've modified myself, and that just clips on there. This is the one I've had the best luck with. This just kind of makes it glide right over the top of the rocks and doesn't get stuck. That's the biggest problem I have with Ned Rigs, is they get stuck in the rocks. But this seems to help and prevent it. This one does too. This is the store-bought one, and this is my own home modified one. I'll be showing you how to do that one. Now, some alternatives is I've made the wobble-headed Ned Rig. I've got a video on it. I'll leave a link. But so I've got this set up here. Now this hook is too. So this one works good for longer baits. Unfortunately, these little swimsies are a little too small for it. You can see it doesn't quite fit in it. So I'll show you. And this is about the smallest you can get on just a typical worm hook. But this one is what I use for these little guys. And I'll show you how I actually make these with the catch right here. It keeps it from sliding down. It works great. If you don't have that on there, they will definitely fall off and not work very well. But and like I said on my wobble-headed Ned Rig video, these are all set up to change out the hooks later on. So I can simply take off the hook and swap it out with a new one if I want to. But like I said, be sure and check out that video. Back. So I want it to come out the bottom. See if I can get it on real quick here. Ba-doop. Come through here, and then you slide it up over that catch. I actually kind of push it all the way up. And you spin it around. And let's see. We want it to come out. Right there. There we go. Alright, we're going to start off with a 1/16 of an inch drill bit. I'm going to use my drill press here. Alright, so I have my Ned Rig that I'm going to use. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and take a screw or a nail, and then I'm going to start putting an indentation in, so I know where the drill bit's going to go and where it's going to stay. Just going to go in there nice and easy. So I just put a little hole in there. It's not very deep at all, but it's something I can put my wire in and secure it. This is the same thing on one of my homemade ones. Again, we're going to put an indentation with a nail or a screw. You want it nice and straight, about the direction you're going to go in. You don't have to go in very far. This was already cracked to begin with, but we can re-put paint back on it. But got some lead in the way there. Now you are working with lead, so be sure and wash your hands after you're done. Don't be rubbing your face too much. Alright, so now we're going to get the wire and make our own through wire, or, yeah, sorry, make our own wire weed guard. And we'll go from there. Alright, so I have a mess. A mess is what I have. There we go. So I have my wire for my weed guard. Now this is stainless steel, basically leader wire. I'll tell you what size it is. It is very small. I think it's 0.012 of an inch. So 0.012. It actually shows up as 0.013 on here, but yeah, it might be 0.013. Somewhere around there. 0.012, 0.013. I would actually step it up maybe one size up. It's a little small for my liking, but it works. So we're going to cut off a piece. If I remember right, it's always a lot longer than I thought it should be. Cut off a piece here. We're going to take a round nose wire, or round nose pliers. So what I do is I put them down, I have them on an offset from the center, so the center's somewhere about here. But when I fold it over, that offset will be just about right. So bend them all the way over. You want a pretty big gap here. One of the things I've noticed with these is if you have too small of a gap, when a fish comes and bites it, it doesn't get out of the way for the hook, and you'll actually lose fish. Don't want that. We're going to test fit it and then pull it up. So yeah, definitely want squared ends. We're just going to slowly clip it back until it's the right size. So the other thing, you're going to want a little bit of a bend in it, and then you're going to want to bend at the tip. So still too long. I'm going to clip it just a little more. And watch out when you're clipping this. Look at it almost always shoots out from this way. So I hold this end and then clip it down so it doesn't shoot me in the face. Alright, so there. Now if I had it, I'm just going to kind of put my finger there. Just a hair too big still. So take just a hair more off. About that much. Alright. Now, let's see if this is the right size. Like I said, put it in. Yeah, that'll be pretty close right there. I don't know if I can show that very well. But basically, you are going to want it in sticking up, and then you're going to want to bend it down where it has a bow in it like that. And yeah, so you want it to be close to the tip when you do that. Alright, so now you may wonder why I drilled such a big hole. There's different you can get smaller drill bits or use a wire to drill through lead because it's so soft. But I made a pretty big hole, and the reason is, where's my mistake one? Aha. The reason is if you put it in and you don't have a big enough hole to get the proper amount of super glue in there or epoxy, whatever you use, this can happen. It spins around, but the bad thing is if it spins around when you're fishing, it'll get caught on the tip there, and I've had where I wasn't catching any fish because of it. So that one I just pull off, and it gets really hard to stick them in there. I'm gonna take some super glue. This is one of those that's loose, so take some super glue and put it in the hole. Fill up that hole. Alright, then we're just going to take this, lay it in like that, and we want it to be lined up with the hook and flat. So look at it real good. Alright, so we're just going to leave it like that, and we're going to let that super glue dry. It will take a little bit because there's quite a bit of super glue in there. But we're gonna go ahead and finish up this guy, which means I need to make a new wire. All right, so this one's ready. So the super glue's dried up on it. So it doesn't want to stay right there, so what we need to do is give it just a little bit of a bend right at this guy. And this is going to be basically kind of dependent on how big you've made your lure. I mean, big you made your wire. So you just slide it down around there, and it catches that there. Up, looks like that super glue is not quite dry yet. Never mind, not quite ready. So I'll put a little catcher right there, and I'll show you how that works. I'll show you how it works on just a plain hook too, because I use this for my drop shots as well. Alright, so for making these lure catches, you're going to need to get some really cheap, like Zipco Omniflex monofilament, 20 pound, 30 pound, something nice and thick like that. And we're just going to cut me off the piece here. I use this for weed guards, for flies and stuff as well. So I just kind of have this sitting around. So what we're going to do is we got the hook and the vise. This is a fly tying vise, if you didn't know. I got some fly tying thread. I do my own fly tying as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to get the line started. You're going to start off with this. What we do with fly tying is you stretch your tag in here, and this is a bobbin holder. Definitely recommend getting one. You can do it without, but this is way easier. You could also use thread too if you wanted to. But what we do is we're going to secure the line to the hook, and we do that by wrapping it on top of itself. So I'm just simply going to stretch it across the shank here, and where I want to start, I'm going to come parallel here, and make a few wraps, and then I bring that line back down the shank. And then I just wrap over that line, and that secures it. So I got it secured. I can cut this tag end off. Some nice scissors there. Alright, so I got it secured and cut off. Now what I'm going to do is I want this monofilament to stick out one side. So I'm going to build up a cone on this at the front. This is about where I want it to be, so I'm going to put it just about there. I'm just going to kind of go over that area real good. This will literally build up the thread in that area. You might not be able to see it, but it's starting to come to a pretty big taper. You don't need it super big, but a little bulge right there is good. And what I'm going to do is just simply, I'm going to leave this overhang quite a bit. I'm going to just kind of pinch it right on top of the hook shank and put a wrap. Wrap or two, pull it tight. Wrap or two, pull it tight. Don't pull it too tight, you'll break your line. Or your thread, I mean. So I just got it sitting on there. I hope you can see this. It comes right here. It sticks out right up here. I just have a lot overhang because I can trim it off. Way easier to trim it off. I'm going to secure it with thread. I'm going to go back up over that bend just a bit. I don't want to secure it too much with thread. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it at kind of an angle. So now I have that little clip right there. I'm going to go ahead and go over it and down to the actual shank, so it's nice and smooth. Alright, and then that's pretty much all I'm going to do for the wrapping. You can secure it with a whip finish knot. Now there's one more step I'm going to do. Actually, just two more. I'm going to take some just plain old super glue. Thinner the better. We're just going to go over that. Gonna work it around, spread it with the tip. There we go. And that is my hook keeper. We're gonna do one last thing and cut that off just a little shorter. Because all we need for it to do is just to grab into that soft plastic. So we're just gonna let it dry now, and because it's super glue, like say you're going out in the afternoon to go fishing, you can literally do this in the morning and then go out and use it in the afternoon. You could also put epoxy on it if you wanted to, give it a little bit harder shell on it. That would work as well. You could use a 5-minute epoxy and then it'd be ready in 5 minutes. But that's basically how I get these little notches on there. Yeah, you can buy hooks with them on there. The problem is I haven't been able to find the right size hooks with that on there. And like I said, you can also do Ned Rigs, your own Ned Rigs, and add that on. This secures it a lot better than a wire does. It's way easier to get over. And I haven't had any problems with it, so. See, there's just a little peg right there. And this is one of my, this was before I heated up the molds. So when you heat up the molds, we actually don't have a problem with bubbles. But that is how you change a store-bought lure into a weedless lure. Because these are pretty hard to find, that the ones with weed guards. And that then when you do find them, they'll be like these, where they have the double strand or the single strand like this. This is, like I said, this is not very good at all. This one at least does its job, but you have to make sure you spread them apart, and they still get caught up quite a bit. But like I said, this is probably the best. I haven't had too much problems with this one. But if you do want to just buy the plain Ned Rigs from the store, like I said, you can just put a little hole in there and put your own weed guard in and bend them over. They're pretty simple to make. So why would you not just buy the Ned Rig? Well, like I said, they can be hard to find. Weedless Ned Rigs. If you want to make your own Ned Rig or your own Ned Rig mold, again, check out my video on making molds and doing the wobble-headed Ned Rig. But what's nice about making your own is you can customize it. And so like this one, I took a regular plain Jane Ned Rig mold that I made and made it into a wobble-headed Ned Rig. And then, like I said, you can swap out hooks. Like this hook doesn't fit this lure, but it does this one. So I'm not limited on what I can use, and this is way nicer setup in my opinion. Just bury that tip in there, and that's weedless. And yeah, so I make my own worms too, and so I can customize it. There we go.